Alright, now we're going to be adding the motherboard to the case. That's usually the first step after you've prepped your case, is to get the motherboard installed. There's a couple things that we need to do first. One, we need to make sure all of our cables are out of the way so that they're not going to interfere. The second thing we need to do is install the back plate that comes with the motherboard. Most cases come with one pre-installed, as you can see here. This one actually won't match up with the motherboard we're putting in this build. So we need to take that out, and it comes out really easy. If you just press from the outside, it'll just pop out. And we just remove it. And then we're going to be adding in this new one. This one came with the motherboard, so it'll match up. Make sure before you actually put this in that you make sure the holes line up the right way with the motherboard. So for this one, it's going to be installed this way. I don't want to install it this way, if that makes sense. So make sure that the holes are going to match up. And then I just put it in here, and there's little ridges, and you're just going to pop it in. So there's no screws or anything, it just pops right into place. So now that we got that in, we can go ahead and show you around on the back side so you can see how that looks a little different now. You can see how that's going to match up with our motherboard once we get that in. And then the last thing we need to do before we actually put the motherboard in the case is we need to make sure that we have our standoffs properly lined up. As you can see, this case came with 6 standoffs pre-installed, and I'm actually going to be adding 3 more standoffs in these holes here for this particular motherboard that we have. I'm going to go ahead and do that now. Just so you know, this is what a standoff looks like. They're usually copper in color, sometimes they're silver. I'm just going to screw those into place. And you will want to make sure that these are pretty snug down in there, so that you don't have any problems when you screw down the motherboard. Alright, so now that we got those in place, let's go ahead and get the motherboard over here. Get it lined up. So here's our motherboard. You can see how I got this situated. I want to make sure that the pieces on the back, see if we can get you a good shot here, line up with the plate. So I've already checked, and this is the way that this is going to go in. So I know that I got this set up right. So I'm just going to go ahead and set it down, and you'll kind of see how it lines up with those standoffs that are on the case. You'll see these little holes on the motherboard. Most of them will have some little, a little bit of metal around the ring of the hole, and that's where you're going to want to line up the motherboard for getting it installed. I'm going to go ahead and check on the back here and make sure that this is lining up how I want it to. So it looks like that's pretty good. See if I'm lining up with my holes up here. It looks like to be pretty good situated. Since I'm installing a standoff up here, I need to go ahead and remove this sticker that's covering this hole so that I can place a screw in there. Now for this, I like to use a small magnetic screwdriver. In this case, this is what I'm going to be using. Has a Phillips head. And then to find the screws that you'll want to use for tightening down the motherboard to the standoffs, you'll want to go through your little screw bag that comes with the case. For this particular one, this is what we had. And we've gone through them and we found matching screws that actually fit these holes. This is the one we'll be using. You can see that. I want to get one of these down, and then I can start working my way around. So I'm going to go ahead and install this one here. Just screw that down. I don't like to screw it too tight until I get all of them in. And I'll just make my way around. The reason it's nice to use a magnetic screwdriver is because you can put the screw to your screwdriver and then drop it down to the slot where you want to use it. If you don't otherwise, it's kind of hard because these pieces are so small. A lot of times the screw will fall and then you'll have to chase it down and try and find it. So this makes it much more convenient to actually get this installed. This one up in the corner here. Now overall for this particular motherboard, there's 9 standoffs that I'm using. So I will need 9 screws in order to get this motherboard secured down. Be the last one. Give these all a little bit tight. You don't want to make these too tight. You know, just barely snug is all you really need. Just keeps it from moving. Alright, so there we have it. We have the motherboard installed. The standoffs with their screws all attached. And that's pretty much it. We're ready for the next step.